The 8th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by Platinum Dining Group, Big Red's Digital Skyboard, BTL Foundation, and by CBM Insurance.
And welcome live here to the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach, Bill Harmon. And we are back for that special time of the year. It is time for the 8th annual SL24 Basketball Classic as we welcome you here courtside at the home of the Delaware Bluecoats, the Chase Fieldhouse, and as you know, at the home of the SL24 Classic over the last 7 years. And Coach, here we are, year 8, in which has been one of the most fun events of the year for us, again, to raise mental health awareness, and it's such an important topic, and we are back for the 8th year. It's been successful each year and in and out, and here we are, 8th time.
Nick, it's great to be here with you, and really more importantly, this is one of my favorite weekends of the entire year. We get a chance to commemorate, thank, and honor my dear friend who I coached, Sean Locke, and all the great things that his father and the organization has done. Great to be here with you. We got a great night of basketball. Looking forward to it as always.
That's right. It all starts with the Spartans and the Patriots, but let's now take a look at the overview of the weekend here for the 8th annual SL24 Classic. As you see the schedule on your screens now, all gets underway here today with 2 games. We got the Spartans ×2 today, Coach, with the girls getting a start against Newark Charter, and then the men a little bit later on as they will take on DMA, and then a fun action-packed schedule tomorrow as well. All kicks off back here at 12 o'clock with some more girls action in Padua and DMA. Conrad and Odessa following that one up at 2 o'clock p.m., and then the final 3 games, 4, 6, and 8, we'll have Ursuline and Friends, St. George's and Smyrna, and then rounding us out tomorrow night, Sally's and Sanford. We have a nice slate here. We're going to see some of the best teams in the state going at it here, and what the best thing is, as we're going to say here at nauseum over the weekend, for a great cause.
Well, it certainly is, and there are a lot of really good games, teams competing down here, getting an opportunity to play in this wonderful field house in front of some, hopefully, huge crowds here this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, Nick.
And now we're going to send it over to our PA announcer, Kevin Litton, for our pregame prayer and national anthem. Here's the SL24, the 8th annual, about to get underway.
And to sing our national anthem, please welcome St. Mark's student Abner Murillo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A beautiful national anthem now, gearing us up for tip-off here ahead of St. Mark's and a Newark Charter Game 1 of a fantastic afternoon weekend here at the SL24, the 8th annual. And again, we are here to honor our friend Sean Locke, who lost his battle with depression back in 2018, and just to see what has come from all of this, Coach, and just the great things that have come and unlock the light in Sean's house and everything. It's crazy to think now we're in year 8.
It is almost unimaginable what has transpired in these brief years since Sean's life left us. Chris and the board have been so active. They've done so many great things. The schools and the neighboring communities have embraced this movement. Great financial support, great volunteerism. You really couldn't ask for a better run organization. Chris Locke at the forefront of it, but he's got a lot of other really fine people working with him and for him.
Absolutely right, and now gearing up for starting lineups for the Patriots and the Spartans. And Coach, while we have a minute, let's talk a little bit about these two teams in St. Mark's and Newark Charter. As you can hear Kevin Litton on the PA here, great crowd already filling in here on a Friday night at the Chase Fieldhouse. Coach, St. Mark's coming into this one 8-6, led by head coach Val Karchin. Again, they lose Sophia last year, who was their best player, obviously the daughter of Coach Val Karchin. This year trying to, again, find some people to step up, and here they are at 8-6.
Well, Val Karchin has done a great job all her years of coaching. They have had a little bit of difficulty the last few games, lost 3 of the last 4, but they played really well at the start of the season. They've got an outstanding player in Kiefer. They've got some other really good complementary players, and Val Karch does a terrific job with that squad.
And now we'll pause for our pregame prayer.
And let this be a showcase of both teams' dedication and commitment to their sport. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
A special thank you again to everyone here at the SL24. It's great to see all the volunteers here helping out. Again, with the prayer, got here a couple hours early. Everybody's running around to make sure everything is good to go, and that just shows you how much this organization means to everyone here in the community and beyond. So now talk a little bit here about Newark Charter, who comes in to take on the Spartans here today, led by Mia Lang. And obviously the daughter of head coach Chef Lang. Amani Harrell, the senior, one of their leading scorers, and their leading rebounder, Addison Palsgrove, is just a sophomore, but this team has won 4 straight here as they come to Wilmington to take on the Spartans.
They're playing their best basketball at the right time of the season. They have 7 seniors versus only 1 for St. Mark's. Coach Lang has done a really nice job. He is a big participant in the SL24 movement as well, a Newark-based gentleman. His daughter's a terrific player, can do it in a lot of different ways, and they've got some also really good complementary players, Harrell in particular and Miller, who both can score, a couple seniors that will help Coach Lang and his squad tonight against a really tough opponent.
And getting through starting lineups here first with the Patriots of Newark Charter, and now making our way over to the St. Mark's Spartans, who of course happy to be back here for the SL24 for another year. And don't forget, everybody at home, there are ways to donate here. If you're not here at the Fieldhouse, you can head online to unlikethelight.com/donate. There are multiple ways. You can also head over to givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 8, or the easier one, you can just text Classic 8 to 53555. Again, that's Classic 8, CLASSIC 8 to 53555. So multiple ways to donate here for unable to make it out to the Fieldhouse either tonight or tomorrow. Again, all for a great cause as the SL24 dedicated to empowering young people by providing them with the tools, education, and resources needed to understand mental health. Their mission is to help youth recognize the signs of mental health challenges, access appropriate support systems, and build practical skills for long-term emotional and psychological wellness. And also, you can head to the online auction that'll be underway here today and tomorrow. Already online is the silent auction. You can head on over to unlockthelight.com, or excuse me, givebutter.com/e/SL24 Classic 8/auction. But all of that, if you just head on over to unlockthelight.com, you can find everything there as well. Coach, teams meeting here before we head on to half court, and tip-off just moments away.
Well, I expect St. Mark's to try to pressure the ball. They love to get up and down the court. Some of their fine wins this season have been in high-scoring affairs. Newark Charter likes to play at a little bit more of a deliberate pace. We'll see who can impose their will.
And taking the floor now. And don't forget, coming up a little bit later, some boys action in the St. Mark's Spartans and DMA Seahawks. 2 great games on hand here today at the SL24. And we are officially underway, the 8th annual SL24 Classic here at the Chase Fieldhouse. It starts with the Spartans and the Patriots.
Well, always interesting when you play on this big court. There are going to be some differences. There are numerous lines out there. You'll have a longer space to run. It's 8 feet longer, so we'll see how the people adjust throughout the evening and the weekend to the dimensions of the court and the three-point line.
Great crowd on hand. The Patriots, they're able to strike first, and now it's the Spartans 30 seconds into the opening quarter, 2-0 Newark Charter.
St. Mark's has always done a great job of sharing the ball. They have individual players who love to attack the basket, and they can finish inside. And here comes some full court pressure in order to quicken the pace.
It was Haasnatter there, able to find underneath and able to lay it up and in. At that time for St. Mark's was Mandila Kiefer. We're all squared in two. Dribble drive here, short on the layup attempt. That time for Newark Charter, and Mia Lang, who is the team's leading scorer, is going to lead to a transition opportunity for the Spartans through contact. Up and finish once again. Mandila Kiefer with the first 2 field goals here for the Spartans. They're up 4-2.
Mandila Kiefer is really a smart player, the only senior on the St. Mark's squad. She's a veteran, played a lot of minutes for Valcarch over her career. A good finisher inside. She's also a very fine three-point shooter and gets to the foul line a lot.
Here is Mia Lang, point guard, and of course the daughter of Coach Lang gets the pass off the glass, and the bank is open for Brooklyn Miller, the senior, from the elbow, knocks it through. We're back tied at 4.
Well, a nice pass by Lang, who really likes to control the offense with the dribble, but she is a good distributor, has great vision, and is a very smart player.
Almost a few minutes into the opening quarter. Here in our opening game of the SL24, St. Mark's and Newark Charter 4-4. St. Mark's turns it over there as we hit the 6-minute mark of the quarter. Getting downhill, left-handed layup with some contact for Mia Lang, just off the mark, but earns herself a trip to the free throw line. She'll have 2 free throws, able to get downhill into the basket.
Newark Charter's done a nice job of freeing up the ball handler, Lang, with some ball screens. St. Mark's choosing to play what we call down coverage, where the screen defender sits in the lane, but that time did not have enough help. Lang was able to drive through and get fouled. She's really a smart player, uses screens very well, can play with both hands. A good long-range shooter and loves to get to the free throw line.
And that first one is up and through for Lang. Another one on the way here. As the Patriots now up 5-4 over the Spartans. Big shout out to our crew here at the Fieldhouse. They've got fantastic audio that you all are hearing back at home. Got the Nets mic'd up here courtside. They've got it all. That free throw off the mark, so a second chance opportunity for the Patriots and a chance at a 3- or 4-point possession.
That's our great friend Jimmy Smith's crew, who's done a fabulous job over the years organizing this, doing all the little things to make this streaming come through as best as it can.
Here's Olivia Price to the basket. Price, how about that one off the window, fading away and able to get it to go.
Boy, that was a tough shot. Difficult angle, but used the backboard to soften the shot. A little pressure here exerted by Newark Charter. I'm not sure they want to get engaged in a full court game with the very quick and aggressive Spartans.
That one inside, left-hand layup, missed that time. And last touch by the Spartans.
So interesting, Nick. St. Mark's has only one senior, and that's Kiefer, who's their best player. Newark Charter has 7 seniors on their roster, but their best player is a sophomore in Lang.
Funny how that works sometimes there as St. Mark's lost it again. Newark Charter in transition and a foul on the way up that time. It was Amani Harrell, one of the team leaders, alongside Mia Lang, and now she'll head to the free throw line. 5:09 to go here, 7-4. Newark Charter up 3 and a chance to add on. If you're looking for a chance to add your wardrobe, why don't you head all over to the merchandise here. You can head online to unlikethelight.com. Short sleeves, long sleeves, crew necks, quarter zips, hoodies, hats, polo shirts, dry fits, magnets, you name it. Much more on sale now at the Fieldhouse and online at unlikethelight.com. And again, all for a great cause.
Nick, you've got a couple of young ones at home. You might be over there buying some gear and some merch a little bit later on.
That's right. Do they have onesies? As the free throw good that time. And now 9-4 Newark Charters with the 5-minute mark. St. Mark's again able to get it quickly down the other side. That one up and good. Mia Husnod are able to get it to go, the junior for the Spartans, and they respond after the couple free throws, 9-6.
That was a really fine pass by Kiefer, who was able to find Husnod on the far side. Good positioning on the weak side.
How about Harrell around the screen? Mid-range jumper won't go. Rebound in a strong one. Goes to the Spartans and Natalie Vanjura. And that's going to keep possession after the whistle in the backcourt with 4:39.
Newark Charter does not seem to mind to want to play this up-tempo pace. They've engaged them in a full-court game. On this court and at this tempo, you better have a deep bench.
Try to let one rip, quarterback style. Drake May with the Super Bowl next week. It was intercepted by Harrell, and then after that tip winds up in the hands of a Patriot, up and in for Olivia Price. Funny how the ball bounces sometimes like that.
Every once in a while. I got a feeling you like Drake May. We remember doing our show a couple years ago, Nick, our draft show.
That's right.
And a couple of us really liked May. I'm glad to see him to work out so well for the Patriots. What a great season they've had, especially for Grable, their first-year head coach.
That's right. Coming up in more basketball here at the Chase Fieldhouse. Coming up after the break. We'll be right back here at the Unlock the Light. Welcome back out of the timeout. The 8th annual SL24. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach, Bill Harmon. Spartans and Patriots kicking us off on a Friday night. It's the 8th annual SL24. Coach and I are talking there a little bit in the pregame show. It's crazy how time flies here for the 8th time.
It really is. And in a certain way, it seems very short. And in other ways,
Absolutely.
It seems like an eternity since we lost our dear friend, Sean Locke. But I had the absolute pleasure of coaching him in high school for 4 years. I also had the opportunity to talk about him when he played for the University of Delaware, a walk-on who became a captain and a scholarship player for Monty Ross. One of the great thrills of all time was me calling the game in Spokane in the NCAA playoffs against Michigan State, where Sean got in and scored a point.
That's right. I remember that vividly as Natalie Vanjura couldn't get the jump shot to go. Here comes Newark Charter in transition. And a whistle and a foul. Will inbound under the basket with 4:03. I remember that like it was yesterday. Wow, what a game, what a team. That Michigan State team is pretty good. Tough draw for Sean in the ends on that one. But
and if you remember, Nick, Delaware played it really tough.
That's right.
For the first half and about 6 minutes into the second half, and ultimately just the prowess and the experience of Michigan State showed out. But I'll tell you what, Monte Ross's crew did a great job. It was a fun game, and to see Sean get in at the end and make a free throw. He was always a great free throw shooter.
I remember that one here. Give and go, able to get it back. Can she finish? And we'll have a whistle as Mandila Kiefer now will head to the free throw line. Coach, you talked about her here at the top of the broadcast. Again, one of the only upperclassmen returning for Coach Karch, and they're going to need her here in this one against Newark Charter. Spartans down 5.
Kiefer's a very solid player. She can play at all levels. She's a good defender, a very good rebounder, runs the court well, and just kind of knows exactly what Val Karch needs and wants on the court. She's another coach on the court, so to speak, but I like her experience. She plays at a really nice speed, never out of control, makes a lot of good decisions.
First one off the mark. Another free throw here for Mandila Kiefer.
Nick, have you ever been to Spokane?
I have not been to Spokane.
Well, it's a really neat place. I enjoyed our stay out there. We had a really cool old-fashioned Western hotel. We had some wonderful waterfalls in the middle of the city. You could walk to the arena. We had a great time. It was a terrific thrill to be out there calling that game for the University of Delaware.
Downhill, Price ran into a Spartan. And they're going to say not set, so it's going to be a foul against St. Mark's as Madeline Fasnow questions it a little bit there, but a hard collision going to lead to some free throws here for Olivia Price and Newark Charter. 3:40 to go still here in the opening quarter.
I think Madeline Fasnow is looking around to see what she did wrong there. I thought she had pretty good positioning. Maybe she moved a little bit into her, though the defender can be moving. You just can't be stepping in too late. And that's something I know Val Karch does a great job of coaching. She's a defensive-minded coach. They're going to be taught how to draw a charge. Pretty good technique there, just maybe a little late.
Another one on the way for Price. And the second free throw is up. Good rotation, and that one drops through. 1 and 2 on the line on that trip for Price, and now a little bit more pressure here, the full court variety for Newark Charter.
Newark Charter's done a nice job of controlling the tempo, even though it's been fast, recovering fairly quickly. Kiefer is a good long-range shooter. She leads the team with 15 threes on the season.
A tough one that time, contested from the baseline. Harrell goes around the screen, another collision. No whistle, we play on 3:13, 12-6 Patriots. Here's Lang now on the baseline. We reverse, trying to set something up, and it's stolen. Pickpocketed by Mia Husnatter, and now the Spartans for the moment as the ball taken right back, Olivia Price. And now Newark Charter will walk it up here under 3 to play in the first.
One thing I like about Lang is if she does take the ball into a bad position, she's able to maintain her dribble and bring it back out to a better spot.
Harrell wants the catch and shoot three, no good. Follows her shot though and lays it back up and in on the putback. And that's what they say, Coach. No one knows where that ball's going to miss as a shooter besides you. You have the best idea. She tracked it down, laid it back in.
She certainly did. Flat shot that came right back to her. The defender's got to do a better job of blocking out and then filtering into the mid-range.
Husnatter gets in the lane, lost it, winds up in the hands of a Spartan. It's Kiefer there, couldn't get it to go, and another strong rebound by Newark Charter.
Charter's done a nice job of controlling their defensive glass. They've played at a tempo that they want to play at. They've done a nice job setting ball screens. Unfortunately there, you're going to get a moving pick on Brooklyn Miller, who moved her body. Typically when you set a screen, you want to be at your hip width, and you want to have your hands on your knees.
And some subs here for the Patriots. And the Spartans in for St. Mark's. Lacey Podolak, the freshman, getting in there for St. Mark's. As they're able to get it inbounded.
St. Mark's has 2 freshmen on their roster. A very young team, as we mentioned, only with 1 senior. Sophomores, juniors, and 2 freshmen.
In comes the talented freshman for Newark Charter, Morgan Bishop, into the game for Coach Lang. Spartans will inbound under the basket, coming off the screen. The 3 is up, off the mark, that time from Adila Kiefer. But an offensive rebound for St. Mark's. They find Kiefer inside. Kiefer shot no good. Kiefer battling for a third opportunity. Came down with the basketball tied up with Morgan Bishop, and the possession arrow going to keep it down this end of the floor with St. Mark's.
I love Kiefer's energy on the court. She stays with it. Even if she misses a shot or makes a mistake, she still continues to play hard. Did a nice job there of getting the secondary rebound.
Inbound for the Spartans, trying to get it into Shanklin. Instead, in the hands of Kiefer, turn, trying to get it up there, contested, and a little short.
Solid defense there, even though they had a difficulty in the offensive glass early on, but Newark Charter has done a nice job of cutting off the passing lanes and the dribbling lanes for St. Mark's, making some of these shots much more difficult because of their high-hand contests.
Kiefer going to be whistled, I believe, for the foul there as the ball was knocked out of bounds. So that should be, I believe, the team's 5th foul against St. Mark's. Now we'll rock the floor here for some free throws for the Patriots. And this time for Newark Charter, it'll be the senior, one of the leaders, Amani Harrell.
Newark Charter's done a nice job of getting to the free throw line early and more often than St. Mark's here in this first quarter.
So 2 free throws coming up for Amani Harrell. And as we mentioned earlier, in our 8th year here at the SL24, as Harrell knocks down the free throw. Back in 2019 was the first year we raised $208,324. And then, Coach, you look all the way in the 7th year last year. How about this number? $674,324.
What an improvement.
Wow.
In a very short time. It just tells you the impact of Chris Locke, excuse me, and all the volunteers. They've done a great job of mobilizing, getting so many interesting things going on, and this is a group that works throughout the year, never taking a day off.
They get it inside. Post work unsuccessful that time for St. Mark's and Olivia Barlow. Now here comes out of the pack Newark Charter, and Morgan Bishop couldn't finish in transition on the layup. Taken right back by a Patriot in Addison Palsgrove, and then she's found on the way back up. So the Patriots, they are out hustling and working here to get this game started. They lead 16-6, a minute to go in the first, and now some more free throws coming up, this time for the sophomore Palsgrove.
They just seem a little quicker to the ball. Sometimes you just have that way you're going. You're alert. You're certainly relentless in your approach, and they've done a nice job here of setting their own tempo, getting to the free throw line, and getting back on defense to stymie any of the St. Mark's leak outs.
Well, we talked about money raised. Altogether from the first year, obviously last year through year 7, over $2.9 million in those 7 years. $2,904,740 as Palsgrove drills the free throw. So you know what that means, Coach? That means we just got to outdo it this year. That's what it's all about, right? Last year that number was $674,324. Well, this year, how about we try and get to $700,000?
I'm certainly with you on that, Nick.
St. Mark's with a minute to go in the first, working around the perimeter. Here's Hassnatter inside, lost it for the moment. Last touched by a Patriot, will stay down here.
St. Mark's has done a good job of moving the ball. They've tried to penetrate, but the Newark Charter defense has packed in the lane, and they've done a nice job of cutting off the angles that have not allowed St. Mark's to get easy opportunities at the basket, and they've done a great job of contesting every shot that's been taken.
So it'll be Kiefer to inbound under the basket, 50.7, 18-6 lead for Newark Charter, who's on a big run here to wind down the first quarter.
Set play here called America's out of bounds underneath, trying to get Kiefer a 3 on the weak side.
Unable to do it that time. It was dribbled around, knocked out of play, and once again, it'll be Patriots basketball. Defense able to force a turnover, and now Newark Charter with possession here. 41 seconds to go in the first, and they're up 12.
Newark Charter just a little bit more alert, a little bit more aggressive, doing a great job defensively, creating ample opportunities at the other end with their very fast-paced offense.
Lang up top to Bishop. Extra pass now in the corner. 3 is up for Madison Bishop. And how about that one? A hockey assist for Morgan Bishop.
Kick. You've got it, Nick. I'm a big fan of the hockey assist. You should at least get a half of an assist.
A tie up here on the other side with 14.3 seconds. Yeah, very well done on that side for Newark Charter. A little Lang, Bishop back to Bishop, and able to knock down the big shot. 20-6, 14-point lead, largest of the night so far for Newark Charter.
Bishop twins, freshman, and then of course Lang, the sophomore. A lot of youth on that club for Jeff Lang.
That's right. How about 2 sets of twins for Newark Charter? We'll talk about that a little bit later on as Madison Bishop gets it underneath. Miller tried to get it back to Bishop, knocked out of play. And now with 1.8 seconds, going to have to be a catch and shoot opportunity for Newark Charter.
You get one dribble with 1.8 seconds, and you've got to get your shot off.
It's stolen away, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter here on our opening game of the weekend at the 8th annual SL24. After one, 20-6, Newark Charter leading St. Mark's in a battle here on a Friday night. We'll be right back with second quarter action and a special guest when we get back here to Mock the Light.
After I saw the impact that Sean's room was having on so many Spartans, we had the idea to do more Sean's rooms.
People will go to Sean's room just to do their homework or sit down and relax to get out of class, sometimes just to grab a snack and like reset your day.
If we can get through to 5, 10, 15 kids, get their anxiety under control, it will spare them the pain and suffering that I went through as an active alcoholic. Mental health has to be the thing that they put first every day that they get out of bed.
The 8th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by DSM Commercial, HFM Advisors, Jersey Mike's, and by Nemours.
And we welcome you back live here courtside the Chase Fieldhouse, the 8th annual SL24 Unlock the Light Classic. Nick Alcindrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. And now we have a special guest here to open up the second quarter, Zach Ryan, the executive director here of the SL24. Zach, really appreciate you here joining us here in the second quarter. Just how's the start been for you here as we're back underway for the 8th year, but how's everything going here to kick off a Friday?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Great environment, great start. it's just the way that the community comes out, especially after the snowpocalypse.
That's right.
To brave that, to be here and support this mental health mission, to watch these athletes. And also, thank you to both of you for lending your voice and your talents to this event. It's so important.
We really appreciate it. There's nowhere else we'd rather be here than to help support our guy Sean Locke and everything that has come through that tragedy. And just we've talked about it 8 years, and the growth has just been exponential. I mean, each and every year there's just tons of new things going on. 3 high schools now have their own dedicated space. Because of Sean's houses, we have a still here for St. Mark's, and you're obviously the executive director now. Just tell me a little bit about how the organization has grown since you've been a part of it.
Well, I think the #1 statistic that I want to talk about this year, and it's super powerful, we've had a number of people, as you mentioned. You've had the Sean's rooms, they've grown. You've had Sean's house. Over 46,000 people have come through the door since 2020. But the statistic that's sticking with me is this last calendar year, we saw a 77% increase in suicidal crises coming through our doors. And so I'm so grateful that we have young people that step up, and they are there at Sean's house 24/7, 365 to talk to somebody when they need help, when they're anxious, when they're depressed, or when they're in a crisis. And it doesn't happen without this event. It doesn't happen without people saying, it's got to stop, we need a space, and we need to see something change. So that, that's the kind of growth we're talking about. We educated more people than ever this year. So our mental health message, talking about resources, talking about wellness strategies. We're trying to reach every zip code by July. So we got some work to do. But it's really good to see and hear from these communities, because that's part of peer support, is listening.
Absolutely.
Zach, I think one of the great things about this organization are the number of volunteers and the time and the effort they spend. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with you and kind of mobilizing them and getting them organized, but it's a huge, huge component of this great movement.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this, this day and a half, there's just so many volunteers today alone. But, the real heroes are the peer support specialists who go through 7 weeks of training. We've trained over 350 young people to be peer supports. So they go through that 7 weeks, then they volunteer their time at Sean's house and Sean's rooms. That is really, that is so amazing that young people, again, with a lived experience with the mental health challenge, say, all right, I want to step up. I want to put myself out there. I want to be in that space when somebody's struggling. And so, but behind the scenes too, you have 3 gather and grow dinners each week. It takes a whole army of people to make that happen. I don't even know if I could begin to count or guesstimate how much that would be. It really takes a village, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see.
As that one is up and in, finished off at St. Mark's there. Madeline fast now, as the Spartans on a nice 6-0 run to open up the second quarter here a few minutes in. And Zach, maybe what are some of the plans right now for the growth of the organization? We talked about how much it has grown in the 8 years, and maybe what are some plans here for the future?
So I think for us, as we continue to go through all of those zip codes and meet all these people and talk to all these people and learn about the issues in these different spaces within Delaware, our goal is to have operations in each county. And I think that is the next growth point for us. What can we do in Sussex? What are the maybe unique challenges that young people are facing there with regard to their mental health? What are the other factors that are occurring in Kent that maybe a Sean's house or a Sean's room could really, in a Peer 24 support program, could really help those people? I think the other thing, as we continue to grow, so there's 3 parts to our mission: educate, assist, and support. So we talked about the support, we talked about the education, but the assist, and that is our mental health scholarship. And so if somebody is uninsured or underinsured, we want to make sure we have the funds to make sure there's no financial barrier for somebody getting the help that they need. And so, again, talk about a community. Again, it's events like this. It's our volleyball event in July. It's all these people giving throughout the year that say, all right, we want everybody to have access to a mental health professional. Yeah, peer support is a great start. It's often somebody's first step on a longer journey. So that's kind of where we want to grow. We want to grow the network of clinicians, grow our staff, grow our team, but grow our physical presence.
Zach, a number that distressed me a little bit was that 77% number. Why is that so aggressive and so high? And it seems like the velocity is increasing.
You know, I think you're seeing people that, you know, I hate to keep bringing it up, but COVID, I think that as you're seeing these kids, you know, get older, some of those things that manifested then and maybe some of those traumas from then and maybe lack of coping mechanisms, they're manifesting now. That could be part of it. I also think doom scrolling and some of the news and how we kind of process media and kind of do things, we need to really kind of like monitor that and really kind of check ourselves. What are we looking at? What are we watching? Are we doing things that harm us or put us at unrest?
Are you concerned about the rise of AI?
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of conflicting opinions. I think a lot of people want it to be such a useful tool for people to get help. However, we've seen some dangers with it, right? Like
the chatbots.
Yeah, exactly. And people trying to seek connection, and it's not true connection, right? Like, yeah, AI might be able to connect you to a list of resources, but ultimately there's people on the other side of those resources. And I think too often we stop before we get to the person. And you know, when I talk about COVID, what did it do? It often separated us, right? That was like a really big time of separation for us. And so when we kind of continue that and we say like, okay, I'm gonna like engage with my phone, or I'm just gonna engage with my computer, or I'm just gonna engage with AI, you're not getting that person-to-person connectivity that we really, really need. We need it as humans. And so that's why like our peer model is so important. And I think like, you know, I use AI as a tool. You know, I probably don't know enough about it, broadly speaking, but like, and I think nobody does. And it's such like an uncharted territory.
It's changing every day.
Yeah.
Changing our lives every day.
And so I think if anybody's like kind of pretending that they think they know everything about it, that's also a danger. Like I think we're kind of going into the uncharted territory, not knowing, and that puts probably everybody at risk.
And coming out of the timeout here, 4:42, St. Mark's and Newark Charter, our opening game here to kick off our 8th annual S24. 22-15, Newark Charter up by 7, but the Spartans here off to a little run here in the second quarter. Now a trip to the free throw line for St. Mark's and Natalie Van Jura. And as you mentioned, that great crowd on hand already here on a Friday night. You know, with people with the snow getting off of work, it doesn't matter here for the SL24. Again, both teams well represented, and again, you're going to see people that have, you know, no relation to basketball at all be here this weekend, again, here just for the cause, which is the most important thing.
Well, and I think these two schools in particular have a lot of reasons to be on this court and to have fans in the stands. And I mean, obviously, you know, this event is in memory of Sean, who was, you know, a St. Mark's grad. But I also want to highlight St. Mark's has a Sean's room. And they were the first to do it. They were the ones that said, yes, let us be the model for this space inside our school where there's peer supports. And that takes a lot from an administration to like work with us, work with somebody and trust us. Again, you know, we're learning more about mental health. We talk about that. We're learning a lot about mental health each day, and what's going to be best for young people. So like they said, like, let's do this. And then Newark Charter, the response from their Newark Charter team, which is what we call basically our mental health clubs, it's been tremendous. More donors than any SL24 team right now. More donors, more funding from like school kids saying, all right, like we're going to give what we have like, financially to try to like really grow the program. I'm really impressed. Both schools just are super big supporters, and we're very grateful to have them do that.
Besides all those details that you mentioned, tell me the evolution. Where does the SL24 go next?
You know, I think for us, the division, when I talk about like statewide, why that's so important to me, we've had a lot of people come to us and they say, you know, we're from California and you know, we want to learn more about this, or we're Dover Air Force Base, or this, we want to have a Sean's room. And I think for us, Sean's House has had so much success. Like I mentioned, all those people coming through, we've been able to help them, all the people we've trained. If we can get to Kent and Sussex counties and really scale, you know, with houses and rooms throughout a whole state, man, we have a rubric. I already believe in the rubric. It would be undeniable to anybody in the country, like, okay, here's a model that works. I've been able to see that, but like to be able to see it replicated on scale, I think a vision where no Delawarean young person is walking that journey alone and walking that, we use light and dark, walking in darkness. The conversations that happen here that are whispered, like, so happy you're doing this, but like, I have my own mental health struggles. Don't tell anybody. I get it, but like, have those conversations more openly. We wouldn't judge somebody going through cancer, talking about it openly. Why are we judging this that way? And that's what this is about. So nobody walking in darkness, and a vision where everybody can have that conversation openly. That's what this is about, and that's kind of what I want to say.
Zach, what's the southernmost school that has representation through SL24? Are you down in, are we in Sussex or Kent County yet?
So right now, all we have are SL24 teams, so those mental health clubs. I can't reveal anything yet, but we are very, very close to a brick and mortar location in Sussex. So we're really excited about that. I think like those SL24 teams getting out there and kind of showing that this is important, informing their communities about us, teams coming up to this classic and bringing it back to their student bodies and talking about what we talk about, I think the growth is, we're going to see it kind of grow exponentially.
I think one of the most interesting things about Sean's house in Newark, most people think it's for, say, a high school or a college kid. You actually have young adults coming in, people outside of college. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Which I think is a magnificent thing, an opportunity for people to have a safe spot to go.
So what we always say is our age target range is 14 to 24. However, we're not checking IDs at the door. And I'll tell you one thing, like whether it's a middle schooler who's struggling and we want to give them a safe space to like while they're in middle school, but also when they get to high school and college, like that's important. But we're also seeing young professionals, people that are entering the workforce and they're struggling with imposter syndrome. Okay, this is my first real job. I got out of college, and now what does that mean for me? What's my identity? I mean, this event is about somebody who's struggling with that, and so we want to make sure that message gets out to that young professional that, like, yeah, there's help out there, and I think that's probably one of the number one things I hear from people is like, all right, hey, can you guys expand that target range a little bit more? All right, this event grows. We want to be able to grow to like help more people as we can and as we're able.
2:43 to go, first half action. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. We are joined now by the executive director of the SL24, Zach Ryan, who has spent the second quarter with us. We got you for 2.5 more minutes, so we can't let you off the hook yet, Zach. But just from another perspective here, you talked about the volunteers, and it seems like we've just advanced light years in this subject since when Sean and I were in high school back in 2013, 2012, 2013. And again, you talked about the volunteers and the maturity about how a lot of the kids nowadays understand that part of it, and that's a credit to the SL24. Have you seen that kind of difference as opposed to back, maybe 10 years ago? More awareness being brought out in general?
Yeah, so my history as an educator. I was in administration at Salesiana, so an all-boys environment, and I think like what's the stigma around that, right? You don't talk about it, and so like people weren't seeking out information about it, and they weren't talking about it. I like to think that like Salesiana, like during my time there and under Lighthouse Award winner Chris Beretta, there's been some strides in the strides that you mentioned. But like we're constantly opening up the conversation, and like men can cry and men can like struggle with their mental health. And I think the same thing, like, okay, we got to understand what, like, our sisters here on the court, like, what are these young women, what are their struggles, what are they going through? And I think those conversations, I have seen a change. Like, they are ready, they're more open. Sometimes I always worry that they're maybe a little, like, too open, but not with regard to this. Not with regard to this. I think, like, they, what I don't like is when they shut themselves down. And they find these other ways to try to find connection when they are so good at it, and they can be so open. So yeah, I think it's really opened up the conversation. Unfortunately, I knew family members and students who struggled in silence, and so a lot of Sean's stories, what I saw in my aunt and my uncle, and unfortunately some students and alums. And so there's loss there that I remember. But I think you're right to point out, retreats, speeches, student council members that get up and share their story. Like, you see the school cultures change with events like this.
Zach, in your tenure as the head of SL Executive SL24, what's been your single biggest challenge?
Wow, that is a great question. Because I feel like I always tell people we're kind of at the forefront of the biggest challenge, certainly in our country, maybe the world. And so I think for me, it is taking a team of people with lived experiences and making sure I'm leading with empathy and compassion. Yes, we have guests that are coming in, and they need to be at the forefront because they could be coming in crisis, but really recognizing and being like trauma-informed that the people that are working there, including myself, we bring our own baggage, we bring our own trauma, and the openness is really a key part of it. Being honest when you're feeling burnout, being honest when you have a peer support session that's really intense, and making sure you're talking, being helpful. That's the biggest challenge, is making sure that this team, who's doing tremendous work, we mentioned all those numbers in the beginning. That's a lot of people to help. That's a lot of message to spread, and letting those people know how valued they are and that there is a community behind them. That's the biggest challenge. It's just such a great staff and team doing great work.
And lastly, Zach, before we let you go here, 14 seconds winding down half number one, and we've got a good one here between Newark Charter and St. Mark's, 26-22 Patriots over the Spartans. So how can people donate to the SL24, and where does that money go if people are kind of interested, how it goes to help out the organization?
Yeah, so if you go to www.unlockthelight.com, and that's lock with an E, you can find our event page for this event, and you can give that way. And there's also some fun ways to give tonight. You can do a Teams of Light gift, where you can give to one of these school programs, and then you can also give at our auction, which also means you have the chance to win and bid on some really fun items. But all of that goes to that amazing staff that I just mentioned, and putting it back into the programs. We are a very lean organization. 90% goes into operations to make sure we can meet the needs of all those people that come in, whether they're in crisis or whether they just need a safe space and a brave space to talk.
There you have it, Zach, so much. The Executive Director, Zach Ryan, the SL24. Thank you so much here, as that will now take us to the half. What a second quarter. The Spartans able to battle back as the Patriots now holding a 26-24 lead. A big bucket from Sadie Nalon, the sophomore, will take the teams into the locker room. We'll be right back with third quarter action after the break. 26-24 Patriots over the Spartans.
Hi, I'm Carl Driggi, founder and CEO of Platinum Dining Group, a Delaware-based hospitality group that's been serving the Mid-Atlantic region since 1996. And I'd like to personally welcome you to our collection of restaurants. For nearly 30 years, Platinum Dining Group has had the privilege of serving millions of guests throughout the area. What began as a single idea has grown into a family of distinctive dining rooms, each with its own personality, food style, and ambition, but all rooted in the same commitment to unparalleled hospitality. Today, that commitment is brought to life by more than 500 dedicated professionals who show up every day with pride, passion, and an unwavering attention to detail. Our goal has always been simple: to create genuine and memorable experiences. Whether it's handmade pasta at Capers and Lemons, a coal-fired pizza from Taverna, or a sizzling red fire steak, every dish, every drink, and every moment is carefully considered. It's more than just food, it's about the connection. So allow me this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for inviting us into your lives for 30 years. Whether it's a cozy dinner, a milestone celebration, or just something in between, thank you for allowing us to be part of your story, our story, the Platinum Dining Group story.
I'm Angela Pugliese, and I'm the director here at Sean's House. Come on inside for a tour. This is our living room, and this is really the heart of the house, just as the hearth is the heart of the home. In this room, you can often find our paws dogs, where people are petting them to feel better from pet therapy. You can find people hanging out, doing homework, enjoying a snack, a cup of coffee. People really just enjoy being in this room to gather as a space of togetherness and belonging. This is our dining room. You'll often find Many of our guests here working on homework or other assignments, also sharing a meal together. This is my favorite room in the house. This is our library. We have books over here on many different topics, not just psychological needs or self-care, but also we have a fiction section because we know that for some people, getting lost in a book is the best way to distract their mind from anything that may be troubling them. This is one of our private therapy rooms. If you come in for a session, we have peer support one-on-one at any time, people who are your age with your same lived experiences that you can talk to. So we have this room as a private space where you can meet with someone confidentially. And then over here, we have our game closet where you can find puzzles, outdoor games, board games, and all kinds of other fun things to do to really make the house feel like a home. In this area, you can find our calendar and information on all of our support groups. Everything we do here at the house is free of charge, no insurance needed. You can see here some of our groups. We have grief support, we have parent groups, we have survivors of suicide loss, LGBTQ+, unburden, and eating disorder support group. You can also find a calendar noting our Pause for People dogs that come to visit, as well as the different dinners that we host for different groups in the area, athletes, fraternities, sororities, everything free of charge. Our second floor is reserved for our residents, but one thing I did want to show you is the origin of our motto of the house of 136 will always be home. Some people may be surprised to learn that Sean actually lived in this house during his college years with some of his friends. Before they moved out, one of the friends scribbled on this wall, 136 will always be home. When we were in the process of transferring the house into what it is today, this was found on the wall and we saved it and have had it as our motto of the house, and you can find it on a lot of our merch, on our website, and you can hear people saying it all the time. Something we encourage our guests to do, whether they come to the house for a visit, for dinner, or for any other reason, one of our support groups or many of our other free programs, is to leave a note or take a note. So here you can find all of the notes that our guests have left for one another. This is another one of our private session rooms. Here you can meet personally with a peer one-on-one for one of our Peer 24 support sessions, or you can meet virtually, whether it's you meeting with someone else or you meeting from afar with us. This is the area where we set up our virtual support sessions, everything free of charge. This is what we call the original Boys of 136. This is Sean right here and many of his friends from high school and college, lifelong friends that he had. This is something that we have in the house to remind us that 136 started out as a home and will always be a home, just a different kind of home. This picture actually has extra meaning to me as well because my brother is one of the original 136 boys. He can be seen right here. This area is a dual purpose. We have our arts and crafts area over here with some of our artwork on display. You can come at any time and let your creative energy flow. This is what we call Donna's fridge. Donna's son, Sayer, was a Wilmington police officer who tragically lost his life to suicide over a year ago. In Sayer's memory and as a labor of love, Donna has created Sayer's Suppers. She's a classically trained chef, and at the end of her workday, she brings any leftover food here to the house. And best of all, anyone can come to enjoy all of these delicious goodies that Donna drops off. We know that food is something that really brings people together. And what else can make you feel like you're at home than a fridge full of drinks and snacks ready for you to enjoy? Whether it's grabbing a cup of coffee with your friend between classes or grabbing a snack to fuel you up for the rest of your day, Sean's House is always here to provide you with what you need to feel at home. We have a full kitchen as well, so we're able to host dinners any time of the year. We are known for hosting our delicious Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas cookies for many of our international guests who aren't able to go home for the holidays. We're able to make sure that 136 always feels like home. In this hallway, you can find different legislative bills that have been passed in the state of Delaware, all supporting mental health. These bills are of special importance to us at Sean's House because they've all been passed either with our support or have been signed right here in the house. This is our backyard, one of the favorite spots of Sean's House. You can often find guests out here enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the views of the mural, or gathering around the fire pit for s'mores after a dinner. Thanks for stopping by Sean's House, a mental health safe haven for youth in the area, where you can always stop by, you'll always feel welcome, everything is free, and you'll always feel like home.
After I saw the impact that Sean's room was having on so many Spartans, we had the idea to do more Sean's rooms.
People will go to Sean's room just to do their homework or sit down and relax to get out of class, sometimes just to grab a snack and like reset your day.
If we can get through to 5, 10, 15 kids, get their anxiety under control, it will spare them the pain and suffering that I went through as an active alcoholic. Mental health has to be the thing that they put first every day that they get out of bed.
We've all met people who are outstanding individuals, people that just vibrate with goodness. And they walk into a room and you feel better just because they're there. And yet even those incredible people have days when they're not shining, when life isn't vibrating, when they're hurting. We're all hurt by life. We're all broken in ways. And the reality is that there are times when we feel pain in such a way. In this culture, we're not encouraged to then reach out and ask somebody for help. We're afraid of that word, that phrase, mental illness, because it has such a stigma attached to it. There are times when each of us needs to know, I need help. I need to ask someone to talk to me, to let me talk to them, to be heard. One of the great beauties of this place, this Sean's house, is the fact that anybody can come and knock on the door and they'll be welcomed by someone who is so present, so attentive to that individual, that person. They're so with them that they feel accepted. They feel, I'm being heard, and maybe I'm being cared for in a way that there is hope, that there is light that will continue to shine in my life.
Who will he grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Newark's Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So he can grow up to be whoever he wants to be. Newark's Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
Aha! I knew it! You are stealing my Jersey Mike's gig.
Danny, it's just because Jersey Mike's is an official sponsor of the NFL. I'm not taking your gig.
Now you're taking my look.
This is how I dress.
My glasses. I've been looking for those.
I wear glasses. I have astigmatism.
I'll give you astigmatism.
Ready for you on set, Eli.
I gotta go.
Oh. This ain't over, Manning.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Partnerships built on relationships. That's our motto at CBM Insurance, and those words guide everything we do. We provide the best possible service experience because our focus is on the relationship first. When you join CBM, you join a team with an average of 20 years in the insurance industry, long-standing relationships with our carrier partners, and deep roots in our community. We stand ready to be your trusted partner and insurance advisor.
The 8th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by St. Mark's High School, the Buffon, the Cicero, and the Locke family, 94.7 WDSD FM, and by Matt Haley Trust.
And welcome back to the Chase Fieldhouse here in Wilmington, Delaware. the home of the Delaware Bluecoats, but more importantly, the home of the SL24 Basketball Classic. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. We are back courtside, game number 1 at the break between Newark Charter and St. Mark's. And St. Mark's was able to battle back in that second quarter, outscoring Newark Charter 18-4 in that second quarter. And just like that, we've got ourselves a big ball game here in the second half.
Nick, the difference was St. Mark's defense just got more aggressive. They played better offensively. They were in some cohesive movement patterns. Their best player, Kiefer, did a really nice job, but some of their auxiliary players played very well. So it was a great comeback for them. This game could go either way here. Newark Charter battled. They've done a nice job with their younger players coming in and being very impactful. I think we've got a very exciting second half here in a couple minutes.
Well, let's take a look at kind of some of the highlights and what we saw there in that first half out of St. Mark's and Newark Charter. A physical first half, coach. Both teams able to battle it out. And you look over there at Newark Charter. They were led by the senior Amani Harrell. 6 points for her. Madison Bishop, the freshman, she was able to add 6 points. And then you look over and we talk about the upperclassman for St. Mark's, and that is the senior Madila Kiefer. And she's having herself a nice game. We talked about her in the pregame. She's got a game-high 8 points to lead the way for St. Mark's in a big second quarter.
Kiefer plays at a great speed. She's very intelligent on the court, uses shot fakes, can drive it with both hands, a good long-range shooter. She's got to have a big second half for them to stay in this game.
And they had a big second quarter. We'll see if they can keep that going here into the third quarter, as we are now just moments away from kicking off second half action here at the SL24. A special thanks to Zach Ryan, the executive director of the SL24, for joining us here in the second quarter. And then, coach, we're going to have another special guest here. That's called a tease here to start the third quarter. So again, special guests there. And then, of course, coming up, 2 more special guests for our second game of St. Mark's and DMA. Again, don't go anywhere after the conclusion of this one, as those 2 teams will meet to round out day 1 of the SL24 in its 8th year back here at the Chase Fieldhouse. And while we got a moment, let's talk to everybody about how they can be a part of this big weekend and where they can go if they want to get involved. Well, if you want to donate, you can head on over to unlockthelight.com/donate. And here you go. Thanks, everybody. How to donate to SL24. They make it easy for you. Just put the QR code right on your screen right now, or you can visit givebutter.com/SL24 Classics. But you just scan that code. That'll take you to where you need to be to help this fantastic cause. Now both teams heading back to the benches, chatting with coaches here before the beginning of the second half, and we have a little bit more time, so we got to talk about the online auction. You can head on online right now. We're here at the Chase Fieldhouse. They've got an autographed Jalen Hurts football, tickets to the Eagles games, Capers and Lemons gift basket, $500 Platinum Dining Group gift card, 7 Elite Island vacation packages from around the Caribbean. That's the one we're going to have to look out for, and as we are ready here for the third quarter. And now that'll bring us our special guest, Leah Witulski. Did I say that right?
Yes,
there you go. That's good. Thanks for joining us here to start the third quarter. Just to begin, before we get into what you do and everything else like that, but how's your opening Friday night here at the Chase Fieldhouse? How's everything going for you so far?
Oh my God, it's amazing. I just finished doing some 50-50 raffle tickets with my 2 friends. We had made tons of money, and I'm super excited to see who wins.
There you go, 50-50. That can be a battle sometimes, so you gotta be ready for that one. But thank you so much for helping out. And now let's just talk again a little bit about this weekend and what you kind of expected coming in. And you are a team leader at Newark Charter, correct?
Yes, I am.
So now just kind of talk a little bit about what that is, what you do here for the SL24, and of course Sean's house and everything for your school, Newark Charter.
Okay, so this past fall, the Newark Charter SL24 team made a club, and we wanted to make sure that we spread mental health awareness to as many students as we could. We wanted to make sure that all students at Newark Charter felt loved and supported and always had someone to lean on when they needed someone. If they're having a good day, they can go and talk to like one of myself or one of our other like committee members or our executive leadership. I have Ruby and Aubrey, and they're super close with me, and Mia Lang, who's actually on the court right now. She's helped us a ton. Miss Lang has made sure that we have tons of connections and resources to Sean's house, and we just want to make sure that all students at Newark Charter and beyond that feel loved and supported, and always just have that mental health support that they need. So we don't want anyone to have to be fine all the time. It's okay to show their emotions and things that are bothering them. We just want to break that stigma that it's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely right. Very well said. Of course, that's the reason that we're here, of course, for the SL24 in its 8th year. And when did you maybe kind of find out about the SL24? Maybe where did you start hearing about it, and what made you want to get involved?
Well, I came to the Classic last winter, actually, and I thought that this was such a cool organization. I started talking to Chris and Kat, Patty, all of them, and I just thought that this is something that should be spread, like, from every high school, because school's a hard environment. It's really hard. Sometimes there's like cliques and groups, and it can be super demanding for one's mental health, and I just wanted to make sure that I could be a light for other people at Newark Charter, to make sure that everyone just has somebody that if they need someone, I just make sure I walk into school every day with a positive attitude to tell them it's going to be okay.
Wow.
Are you an athlete? You play some sports at Newark Charter?
I do competitive dance outside of Newark Charter, but I know that all the sports are obviously super mentally demanding, and just want to make sure that, again, everyone just feels loved and supported.
So now you just got to get on Newark Charter to get that competitive dance team going.
Seriously,
there you go.
right?
The DIAA, are you listening? Can you turn that into a sport? Here, 6:29 to go, third quarter, 30-27 here at the 8th annual SL24, and we are now joined by Leah Witulski from Newark Charter, and get her Patriots in action here against the St. Mark's Spartans, kicking off our weekend of basketball here in Wilmington, and Patriots with a 3-point lead.
They're looking great.
As now on the left wing is Brooklyn Miller, one of the seniors. Palsgrove gets it inside, right hand, no good, got her own rebound, a little pirouette back up, almost got that one to go. Rolled off the rim, no good, and now a third chance opportunity as the offensive rebound goes to Amani Harrell, who led the team in scoring in that first half with 6 points. So, Leah, we talked a little bit about, what you do over there at Newark Charter, and how has the SL24 team at your school, I mean, you talked a little bit about it, but changed the mental health conversation and culture? I mean, have you personally noticed a difference since you've seen the SL24 kind of make its way into Newark Charter?
Absolutely. I've seen people start just to go and talk to people that they wouldn't talk to on a normal basis. They're checking in on them, making sure they're okay, and we're also creating this environment where it's safe to talk about your feelings. It's okay to say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or hey, I'm having a great day, and just being, we want to make sure that all students know that they can rely on the kids they go to school with every day. So we try to do super interactive activities with positivity, just to kind of uplift everyone's day. We meet on Mondays at school, and Mondays we can drag a little bit, so we try to lift each other up and just ensure that we get through it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Leah, do you find it's a little bit more difficult for athletes to open up?
Absolutely. I feel like they always have this guard that they have to be tough, because, I mean, look at them. They do this this awesome stuff every day, but I think that sometimes they have this guard where it's like, oh, I don't want to come off as weak or anything, but I think that actually coming out and saying, hey, I'm going through something, is what makes them the strongest.
That free throw off the mark, but will stay down this end after it was last touched by Charter. 5:26 to go, third quarter, 33-28. We are joined by Leah Witulski, who is a team student at Newark Charter. Here checking out her Patriots up close and personal on a Friday night, as we have a whistle and a foul here.
I think Newark Charter continues to be the aggressor here. They've done a great job in following up a number of their misses. They've been first to the floor. They've done an excellent job in transition. I'm really impressed with the job Coach Lang has done with his crew.
Trying to get it inbounded there, picked away and stolen. Brooklyn Miller up ahead. Olivia Price in transition. It's good.
It's another defensive play turning into immediate offense, something they've been able to capitalize against St. Mark's all night.
How about that pass up ahead, unable to finish it with Sadie Nalon. It was similar to what she did back at the end of that second quarter on the big outlet pass. And this time a whistle will keep it down here, 5:07. Patriots up 35-28 over the Spartans. And Leah, you're going to be back here tomorrow as well?
Of course I will. Bright and early, I'll be here.
That was a loaded question.
I'll be here all day.
Leah, tell me a little bit about competitive dance. What does that entail? How much time is required? How often do you all practice? What type of dance is it?
Okay, so after school I meet with my team, and we practice 4 to 5 days a week. And it's usually long durations of time. I'm practicing from like 4 to 9, 5 to 9, things like that. But I think.
When do you do homework?
Oh, your question's as good as mine sometimes. Just all about time management these days. But I think that especially in competitive dance, it can be hard with mental health as well. I mean, you're surrounded with tons of girls, and I just feel like the constant comparison to one another, it definitely gets to you. But I mean, I, again, try to spread my light beyond just Newark Charter and bring it to things I do every day at my dance studio. And I just
do you travel for competition? Is it some in the state and out of state as well?
Yes. So we stay around. We stay close. Usually like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, states like that. But then we compete nationally. But usually we do stay local, mostly. Yeah.
Now this one gonna stay with St. Mark's. They'll about to have to go the length of the floor. 4:27 to go here, third quarter. 35-28. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon here with Leah Witolski from Newark Charter at the 8th annual SL24. Newark Charter, little full court pressure as Kiefer able to beat it. And now nobody stopping ball. Drives, kicks, open jump shot. That time for Nalon. Couldn't hit it. Rebound hauled in by Regina Miller.
It's one of those where I think Kiefer could have just exploited her advantage driving in. She gets into the lane. Instead of finishing herself, kicks it out for a three-pointer.
Miller's layup misses on the other end. Rebound to St. Mark's and the freshman Lacey Podolak. And now, Leah, have you been over to the merch table? I see you've got your Newark Charter shirt on here, but as that one is laid up and in, there is Kiefer once again. Cut the deficit to 5 for her Spartans, but there's some cool new stuff over there at the merch table I just saw.
Let me tell you, I think I got every shirt on that table. I think I have everything in my closet.
Well, it's all for a good cause, so I mean, by all means, go buy every single. I might have to take 5 or 6 pieces of them out with me on the way out tonight.
The new crew necks are perfect. I'm obsessed with them.
Well, yeah, what grade are you in at Newark Charter?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior.
Yes.
Started thinking about college?
Yes, actually, I've been super interested in Penn State, but I'm looking to go into psychology.
Excellent. Good for you.
Thank you so much.
Price almost had it stolen as it lands out of play with 3:10. 7-point lead for Newark Charter. Coach, we were up at Happy Valley last year for a little football action with the Delaware Blue Hens and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Didn't end our way, but it was a fun weekend there.
So it was. I always enjoy our road trips together, Nick. Staying in the great town of Altoona.
That's right.
And we had one of our best dinners ever, if you remember correctly.
You are absolutely right. Altoona knows how to make a steak.
Yes, they do, for you.
3:10 here on the inbound for Newark Charter. As they get it up top, here's Amani Harrell, leading scorer for the team in the first half. And there you have it on your screen. There's that QR code. That's how you can donate to the SL24. All you got to do, take out your phone, scan that code. It'll take you exactly where you need to be. And that works a lot easier than me reading you the websites every letter for letter. Again, shout out to our team upstairs doing a fantastic job. But other ways you can donate, unlikethelight.com/donate. And again, we're going to talk about the auction here for the rest of the night for sure, as Kiefer has some open floor in front of her. Bounce pass up ahead to a teammate. Unable to finish it was Madeline Foss now. And after the missed layup, the rebound hauled in by Amani Harrell. And possession arrow going to go the way of the Patriots with 2:40 to go here in the third quarter.
When Coach Karch looks at this tape, she's going to regret some of these missed in-close shots. Some of it has been excellent defense by Newark Charter, competing and contesting every shot. Some just been some ill-fated attempts by St. Mark's. If they do improve that finishing inside, they've got a chance to win this game.
Inside, how about that floater with the right hand? Morgan Bishop, the freshman, able to get inside, floats it up and through, and then Patriots come up with a steal on the inbound and trying to get a quick 2-for-1 opportunity.
Really impressed with Morgan Bishop and her twin. Both of them are very aggressive out there. They really know how to play the game at an early age and have been very impactful so far this evening.
A travel here as the ball taken away by Mia Husnatter, but she went to the ground with it. So a travel there will turn it back over with 2:07, 39-30 Newark Charter. Olivia Price back in for Newark Charter. And Natalie Van Jura back in for the St. Mark's Spartans.
Is competitive dance done at Penn State? Would that be a team that you would like to dance for?
Yeah, there's a Division I team who just competed at the Nationals, actually. one of my closest friends, Sabrina, we grew up together, and she just competed there, actually. She did a wonderful job. It was great to watch her, and I knew that she's been dreaming of this for a while. So
now, is there a season for competitive dance, or is it throughout the entire year?
So I personally, we dance from September till June, and then our nationals is usually end of June, early July. So we have like 2 months of off season, but it's usually just tons of training and practice and tons of fun.
Outstanding.
A timeout on the floor. We'll stay right here at the SL24. 39-30, Newark Charter out ahead of the St. Mark Spartans in our opening Friday night matchup. 2:03 to go in the third, and we're here with Leah Witulski, a team leader from Newark Charter. And Leah, we got about 2 minutes left with you here in the third quarter coming out of this timeout. So if you will, again, just any words for anybody that might be struggling listening, or any words of encouragement here for somebody at home that might be, looking for something.
Absolutely. Sean's house is the best. It's truly something that's indescribable. The resources and help that they provide is truly wonderful. I know every time I've stepped into the house, it's so special. My heart feels warm. And I mean, I've truly just been changed for the better. I talk about it all the time to anybody who will listen to me about the program. I'll talk to my parents at dinner and be like, hey, did you see the new Unlock the Light post, or anything like that. But it truly is something that is so special, and I hope that everyone will one day, even if they have something internally, they'll gain the confidence to come and talk, because I know that everybody there is so supportive and will always give out a helping hand when they need someone. But it's never good to struggle alone. So I hope that, especially this weekend, it'll open some people's eyes to just getting help, I feel, yeah.
There you have it. Very well said by Leah Witulski. And again, just a high school student at Newark Charter, but already making a big impact in the community here with the SL24. It'll be Olivia Price to inbound under the basket. 2:03 to go in the quarter. And now Charter up by 9. Lang for 3. Long off back iron. Rebound battled for. A nice box out by Mia Husnader. It'll be, though, tipped out of bounds. And a little hop there. How about Morgan Bishop, the freshman, jumping over the baseline there to go get the basketball.
Morgan Bishop is extremely quick and very athletic. I've been very impressed with Mia Lang, the coach's daughter. She is a really smart player, can set up her teammates as well. Here she is with a turnover, one of her few tonight. But she's done a really nice job at distributing the ball, plays excellent defense, and has great range on her 3.
And a quick whistle, and I think a Reed turnover. I think stepping over the line on the inbound underneath for the Spartans that time. So Price will come grab it. Charter with the basketball back here under the basket. They get it in. Bishop has it stolen. Here's Kiefer. 2-on-2 for the Spartans. Up ahead to a teammate through contact. And Natalie Van Jura is going to head to the free throw line with 1:43 to go in the quarter and a chance at 2. And while St. Mark's is shooting some free throws, and we talked about the merch, have you checked out the auctions?
Oh, I'll have to.
That's right.
I saw some great items up there.
Jalen Hurts football autographed up there. A chance to take that home after Coach. We know he'll win the Super Bowl next year again. Just wanted to take a year off.
Seriously.
He'll be back next year.
Were you happy with the new OC signing, Nick?
It's hard to say. They've had a lot of success over the years with experienced play callers. We saw with Kellen Moore, they won a Super Bowl. Shane Steichen obviously made it to the Super Bowl. He's seen a lot of success over there in Indianapolis with the Colts, but I'd rather have a guy like Sean Mannion, I guess, with a lot of people talking about him here, and build him up as the next young big coach. So I'd rather take on a chance on somebody like that than promoting somebody in-house like they did twice and it not work out. So I would prefer Brian Daboll, maybe a Mike McDaniel, but Sean Mannion's who we got, and we're going to ride with it.
You know what especially I want in that auction? Those vacations. Let me tell you, the snow is not it for me.
That's right. And, there's supposed to be some more snow this weekend.
Oh,
Thank goodness,
no.
I think that we are out of the fray there.
Oh, good.
Out of the bomb.
That's what so we say. As we have out of bounds on the far side of the floor, 122, 39-31.
The snow apocalypse.
That's right. We heard that's what Zach Ryan said when he was on a little bit earlier. And we got the football. You got some tickets to the Eagles game. You mentioned, Leah, with the vacation packages. 7 elite island vacation packages from around the Caribbean. And, Coach, let me ask you this. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
It's very interesting. I've always wondered about that myself, and I think in different regions you can go with either.
See, there you go. Kiefer in transition, layup is good. And St. Mark's cuts the deficit to 6 with under a minute to go in the third. This one has been a good one, back and forth. Teams with their own short little runs here throughout. And now Newark Charter.
Nick, what's your favorite island in the Caribbean or the Caribbean? If you're
Coach,
down Islander, it's Caribbean.
I'm not experienced enough to make that
Well, I want
choice.
you to go to St. Bart's someday.
Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll head upstairs to the online auction and see if they've got something near there.
We would love to go there. It's quite an interesting island. Originally a Dutch province.
Price,
and then a French one.
foul on the way up. She'll get 2 free throws with 25.5 seconds to go in the third quarter. And I'll tell you, Lee, if you ever need any question answered about anything, you ask the coach, Bill Harmon. He will have the answer.
All right.
We used to go.
It might not be the right answer. Nick, you're way too kind.
Oh, my God.
I wish that was half the case.
Oh, yeah. It is the full case. As we have a great crowd here on a Friday night, game number 1, and already filling up here at the Chase Fieldhouse. You look up there at the mezzanine, and a bunch of people checking out the action here, leaning over top. Great crowd up there, great crowd behind us here, and both of these schools showing out, including yourself, Leah, here, checking out the action and supporting their programs to kick off the Classic. There it is. Check out that crowd up top here for just game 1 of the SL24 Unlock the Light.
Leah, one thing that's very impressive to me about you is how well you speak and how enthusiastic you are about this foundation. But more importantly, you strike me as a good listener as well, and probably the most important thing when you're dealing with people with issues.
Thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
Van Jura found on the other end. More free throws coming this time for the Spartans. A chance to cut in to this 6-point deficit. And again, they've got packages, swag bags from many of your Delaware high schools, including Newark Charter, prom package available. The Bardea Restaurant Group experience, including 3 curated dining experiences for 4. I'll tell you, Bardea is on a different level. They are fantastic. Could you ever had a chance to eat at Bardea?
I haven't. You better take a big credit card to that one.
Yeah, I was doing some work there, so it didn't happen like that.
I'm not going to say it's worth it, but you better have a big credit card.
That's how good. They've got some fantastic stuff over there, and you can have, wow, how about that? 3 curated dining experiences for 4. And then on-ice tickets to the February 5th Flyers game with food and drinks included. If you've never been to a hockey game or an NHL game, you got to get to one. Even if you're not a hockey fan, the environment itself, it is. It's so exciting. It is a lot of fun. 7 seconds here, 39-35. Harrell steps underneath, looking for a teammate, stolen, and that might take us to the end of quarter number 3. As the two teams have been battling it out here tonight. 39-35, Newark Charter leading St. Mark's as we head to the 4th and final quarter of play. Leah Witulski, the team leader for Newark Charter, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast.
Thank you, Leah.
A phenomenal
Thank you so
job.
much.
And again, good luck with the rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Klondike Kate's is Newark's hometown favorite since 1979, serving legendary American comfort food like Kate's original nachos, juicy burgers, and craft cocktails. Enjoy live music and DJs every weekend, plus weekend brunch with $5 mimosas and Bloody Marys. Located on Main Street and open late every night, Klondike Kate's. Eat, drink, celebrate.
Excuse me, can I have your attention, please? Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 6 for $19.99 is the perfect meal for 2. Your choice of 2 entrees, 2 sides, and 2 drinks. Pick 6 meal for 2 for $19.99. Grab a friend and head to Buffalo Wild Wings.
The 8th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by ABHA Architects, Buffalo Wild Wings, Lang Cares Foundation, and by Kevin and Marion Healy.
And welcome back courtside here at the SL24, the 8th annual. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach, Bill Harmon. A special thanks to our guests in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, Executive Director Zach Ryan and Newark Charter Team Leader Leah Witulski. Both very impressive here to kick off our broadcast, Coach.
I'll tell you something. Any organization has a young woman like that, Leah Witulski, in it is going to be very successful. What a passionate, intelligent, and also incredibly well-informed and sensitive young person.
Very impressive. That's right. How about that? 39-35.
Well, we've worked together a long time, Nick.
That is true, and even before that.
Now, you don't want to be able to read my mind, so. But no, really enjoyed our conversation.
And we are back here 30 seconds into quarter number 4, a 2-possession game between Newark Charter and St. Mark's. I spoke too soon. 1 possession. There's Kiefer underneath on a great feed.
Well, what a terrific concept out of the timeout of the quarter, a high-low, where the elbow player throws a nice lob down to Kiefer, who'd sealed off her opponent. Well done.
39-37, 7 minutes to go here in this one. And what a way to kick off our SL24 weekend. Timeout on the floor. Coach Lang going to want to talk things over. We'll stay right here and talk ourselves. 7:02 to go, 39-37. Nick Alessandrini and the coach Bill Harmon here on the opening Friday night of the 8th annual SL24. And we were talking earlier, you know, you think back in 2019, $208,324. Then you think about back to last year being the 7th year in 2025, $674,324. You think about just the growth of this here since the first year into the 7th year. And just again, you talk about it, and it has to do with a lot of great people behind it, and we talk about that and all the great work that they do. And you can't do that without all the help from a village, as they say.
Well, that's certainly right. But what's so impressive to me is so many organizations ultimately get some fatigue, and that is exactly what does not happen in this organization. This organization seems to be in a perfect trend line, trending upwards. The great leader and Chris Locke and all his wonderful words, but his board and the volunteers, I mean, it really is an amazing organization that has continued to improve their approach year in and year out.
$2.9 million raised in the 7 years. Truly incredible, and again, we want you all to help us make this another incredible year. Your donations, the online auction, merchandise, ticket sales, all goes directly to help support and fund Sean's House and the SL24 Foundation. Price lost it on the way to the rim. And the Spartans able to take it away, and once again, looking to act quickly as they get it up ahead to Hasnader.
Well, at one time, the Spartans were down by 14, and I thought Val Karch did a really good job of keeping her team to motion under control, and there Kiefer continues to bring them back with an impossibly angled shot that happened to go in, but really a great effort defensively and then getting cohesion offensively in the second half for St. Mark's.
Spartans able to steal it. You see that QR code on your screen. Don't forget, we're going to pop that up for you here throughout the broadcast. The easiest way to donate is just to scan that QR code you'll see here throughout the broadcast. They go back to Kiefer inside on the left block this time. She's found on the way up, a little hobbly after the contact. Hope she's okay. 6:06 to go, fourth quarter, and we are all tied at 39. And Coach, now a chance for St. Mark's, I believe, to have their first lead of the ball game here with Kiefer at the free throw line, all tied at 39.
Well, Newark Charter got off to a great start. Their defense keyed them early on. They had some terrific offensive rebounding, were able to finish inside. St. Mark's struggled there. Now, here in the late in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, they started to finish better inside through some contact. They've had some really nice passing, a wonderful feed from Olivia Barlow to Kiefer down low in the high-low situation. So St. Mark's getting it going. I think this could be anyone's game going down here in the stretch.
Regina Miller back in the game for Newark Charter, and one more free throw here for Madila Kiefer, and she's able to knock it down. Gives the Spartans their first lead of the evening, 40-39.
When Newark Charter's been at their best, they've been good in transition. They've created offense out of their defense, and Lang has been able to be a distributor or make plays herself. So between Kiefer and Lang, I think that's where the hands of the game will be in, those two players.
Palsgrove out on the perimeter was fouled by a Spartan. I believe against Natalie Van Jura, the sophomore, her second. Mia Lang now heads to the bench for Newark Charter, going to catch a quick breather before probably playing the rest of the quarter here.
I don't think Dad ought to have her out too long.
As Morgan Bishop will check in for her. Here's Palsgrove around the Harrell screen, gets downhill, throws it up, no good. Rebound battled for and taken by St. Mark's, and now quickly once again trying to leak a player up ahead. This time it was Natalie Van Jura, couldn't hold on to it, and now numbers for the Patriots. Harrell, 3-on-1, she takes it herself, it's good.
Harrell's been extremely aggressive. I like the way she plays as a senior, one of those 7 seniors that Coach Lang has. She's been dynamic in the offensive glass, and there with a terrific drive after the steal.
St. Mark's trying to answer. Deep three is up, no good. Off the mark for Olivia Markey. Long rebound to near half court is tracked down. It'll be Spartan basketball and a whistle and a foul here this time against Madison Bishop.
That was quite a heist there by Markey out at the NBA three-point line to shoot that. Sometimes that can be a little confusing to young players who haven't played here a lot. There are 2 lines on the court.
Yeah, we have seen that for sure over the years, different tournaments. As they get it here, inside, Barlow, back out, driving, Kiefer on the baseline, tough shot, no good, rebound tracked down by Nalon. It leads to a jumper of the mid-range variety, no good for Mia Husnatter, but how about a third chance for St. Mark's? Nice feed to Kiefer, and she finishes it. Beautiful look over the top from Barlow, and Kiefer finishes it off.
That's the second very fine assist by Barlow here in this quarter, the high-low and then the offensive rebounding, finding the very fine player and leading scorer Kiefer in the middle of the lane.
Harrell up top, 4:43 and winding. St. Mark's now back with a 1-point lead. Harrell to the basket. Was hit from behind, and now some free throws coming up for the team's senior with 4:40 to go in the ball game. And now Newark Charter down by a point, 42-41.
Newark Charter's had the ability to get a number of straight line drives, and by that I mean you get a direct angle to the basket. There's no opposition there, no help. They've been able to capitalize on those. St. Mark's has got to rotate a little bit quicker in their help defense to stop some of those penetrations.
First free throw around and out for Amani Harrell. And we've seen a few free throws today roll around and drop out for both teams. As Regina Miller back to the bench for Newark Charter.
Nick, I know you're a big NBA fan. Jimmy Smith and his crew have done a great job with the mics up on the rims. It reminds me of the old Boston Garden. I thought they always had the softest rims back in the 60s when the Celtics were always winning, but they had great acoustic effect in there. Jimmy Smith, well done.
Absolutely. Again, I coming in, I feel like Mike Breen. We're doing the NBA Finals with the hookup we've got here courtside at the Fieldhouse.
I'm a big fan of soft rims. It always helps bad shooters like me.
Oh, Coach, you can get to your spots. 4:29, all tied at 42, trying to change that, and she will. A big-time jumper from Morgan Bishop, and the freshman playing well tonight for Newark Charter. That one comes from distance. 3-point lead, Patriots.
Morgan Bishop finding her spot on the court. The right slot from about 20 feet. Squared up, shot ready, a wonderful high arcing release.
Timeout, Coach Karch and the Spartans with 4:15 to go. 45-42, a one-possession lead for Newark Charter. And now check out the three here, courtesy of Bishop. Just straight catch and shoot, buries it, nothing but net. And talking to Coach Lang, he said, the Bishops, they're going to be very impactful for us for a while.
Madison and Morgan, they like the M's.
That's right.
But boy, what a nice play. And for a young player to be that confident, especially in a big game and a big moment, to get themselves squared up and have a really nice release with pressure on them. Wonderful player. She's got big upside, as does her sister, her twin.
No hesitation, able to drop that one through from beyond the arc. 3-point lead now for Newark Charter. We've been on the seesaw for the last minute or so, with both of these teams exchanging leads. St. Mark's got their first lead moments ago of the ball game. And we've been going back and forth ever since. And you think about it, Sean's House opened back on October 1st, 2020. As again, we're almost close to 6 years. Over 45,000 visitors have been through the door. 120,000 people have been educated by SL24 programs about mental health and suicide. And 4,900 over that number of sessions with Peer 24 support specialists and 380 peer specialists trained to support others. 198 active crisis served. You heard Zach Ryan, the executive director, talk back in that second quarter about the peer specialists and just all the work they've been doing to help train people to help others in need.
Well, it certainly is a wonderful organization, but the number that sticks out to me is in under 6 years, they've had 46,000 people come through one place, one house, for some obvious needs. I mean, it's great that it helped that many people. It's sad that 46,000 people had to seek out that help, but wonderful that people feel comfortable and confident they're going to be able to go in and find a safe place and get help.
And a whistle on a foul as Lang will head to the free throw line, a chance to extend this lead. And you're absolutely right. I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, I don't think that many people are walking through that door or even expressing that they need some type of help. And we've come a very long way, and a lot of that, again, firsthand comes from here at the SL24. And it was a topic years ago when this unfolded that I had not much about. I mean, personally, nothing. You ever hear about it or hear about what you're doing to try to help, and just to see all of this come from that is just, it's been crazy, and it's been great to see. Again, for something, like I said, that I wasn't aware of, way back when.
Well, that begs the point. I coached Sean for 4 years in high school. I then called his games for 4 years in college, and we talked about that amazing movement where he went as a walk-on, became a captain and a scholarship player, got to play in the NCAAs, had a wonderful job. I had lunch with Sean about 2 months before he took his life, and we had a wonderful afternoon in Greenville. We chatted probably for almost 2 hours, and then unfortunately, a little bit later on, he was not around, but it was a very moving experience for me to think back and realize, my heavens, I thought I knew people pretty well, and I would have had no idea in that conversation. Sean was happy and upbeat and was excited to be moving to Philadelphia, and we reminisced and we talked about the future. And I was so fortunate to have come in contact with Sean for a long time and been very close to him, that it was a very moving experience to think back and realize how short a time it was between that moment and when Sean was no longer with us.
Made my high school career a lot better, that's for sure. Was one of the guys that mentored me when I got there as a freshman, and he was a sophomore, and I joined student council with him and just kind of followed him from that point forward.
And he did a lot of other things outside just sports. I mean, he was a baseball player as well. You mentioned student council. He was a terrific student. I watched a lot of his games over the years in baseball. I was a little bit active with the program myself, but what an amazing young man. I'll tell you a really funny story, Nick, and I've shared this a number of times on these broadcasts. We were playing a summer league game at Wilmington Friends, and Sean was going to be an incoming freshman. It was one of those Sundays where the beach was really nice, and a couple of our players got caught in traffic coming back up, so we only had 4 players. Sean came by the game to watch the team that he was ultimately going to play for. And here's this skinny little dude,
Mount Aviat,
right? And his dad was there, and we said, okay, you're coming, we're going to let you play in the game. First time down, they passed it to him, he was at the 3-point line. No doubt. Here's an incoming freshman, just jacked it up. The first one didn't go in, but many more did in the rest of his career. But I always said, my God, what great chutzpah. Here's a guy that hadn't even played with us, had the kind of the nerve and the substance to take that shot. But I tell you what, it was an absolute pleasure to work with him. So coachable, had to overcome a number of injuries in his career. That never, ever affected him. He just worked so hard to rehab and get back. But that first time when I saw Sean, before he even started at St. Mark's, I was already impressed with the young man.
And the turnover there, 47-44, Newark Charter up 3, 2:23 to go in this one in our opening game of our Friday night. And Sean, Mr. Basketball at St. Mark's, was the captain, leader of that team, best player on the team, and for a couple years as an underclassman, etc. And only issue is we wish we could get him out for football in the fall. He's so athletic. If we get him, maybe got Kyle Lynch one year, and now we just need to go get. If we would have got Sean, we would have had 2 big receivers on the outside.
Kyle Lynch, what a terrific athlete he was.
That's right.
Great baseball player. I saw him at Jeff Ziemba's wedding this summer. Kyle Lynch is a lawyer doing really well, a neat crew, and again, just some of that St. Mark's group that you were with, that I was fortunate to be around in a couple different ways, and all of them kind of centered around Sean Locke.
You are right about that. And with 2:11 to go here in the 4th, Newark Charter with the basketball up a bucket. They're up 3. And here is the point guard, Mia Lang, as she gets it over to Harrell.
They run a nice little set play. I thought it was going to be dribble chase, but they kick it to the corner. They get a post up underneath. Good interior defense there by St. Mark's to negate a set play that Coach Lang had called.
Olivia Price now with the honors to inbound under the basket. Exactly 2 minutes to go here in this one between St. Mark's and Newark Charter. Got to get it in. Leaps it up and hauled in by Bishop. Trying to get downhill that time was Madison. Lost it, and now Harrell trying to track down the loose ball. 3 Spartans there to 2 Patriots. Ball still loose as bodies are hitting the floor. Now we should have a possession arrow or a timeout here. And we'll have a jump ball. It'll be Patriot basketball with 1:46 to go. And Coach, how about this one? One possession game, under 2 minutes to play. What a way to kick off the SL24.
Absolutely. What I loved there was the enthusiasm and the aggressiveness by both teams getting to the floor for the loose ball. Typically, you say first to the floor. If you get there, that's going to provide your team with a lot of energy and a lot of good things.
Big possession here for the Patriots as they're up 3. Bishop trying her luck at a deep one, too strong. The rebound, though, bounced into the hands of Morgan Bishop. And now a whistle under the basket, and possession going to stay here with Newark Charter. Price to inbound, 1:30 to go.
That may have been a pass off the backboard there, something they worked on in the backyard.
That's right. It might be that twin telepathy there. And here we go. Harrell, shot fake, bounce pass here to Lang. With 1:23 to go, Newark Charter up by 3.
Lang's a savvy player. Used a shot fake. It didn't affect the defender. She chooses to bring the ball out. The count was on, though. She was able to clear the count. That's what good point guards know. They get 4.5 seconds before they have to pick it up or pass it or stop dribbling, of course. And Lang did a really nice job there of realizing the clock was on her.
That one was tipped out of play. And then a timeout called by Coach Karch, who's going to want to talk things over here before the final minute 14. It's still a one-possession game. Ball going to be in the hands of Newark Charter, so they will have ball here coming out of the timeout. Again, while we have a moment, let's flash that QR code back up on the screen for everybody at home. Again, if you're looking for ways to donate, this right here will be the easiest. We'll flash that QR code up for you. There it is. And all you have to do is bring out your phone, scan that QR code, and you can donate. That's the easiest way to give to a great cause here in the SL24. We will be here, obviously, for another matchup tonight, Coach, and then we've got a great day of basketball planned for tomorrow as well.
I can't be waiting to sit with you at 2 o'clock for another game.
That's right. I'll
Nick.
have you back. I'll miss you for the 12 o'clock, but I'm happy to have you back at the 2. And then, of course, we're waiting for our guy, Mike Corey, to arrive as well, and then he will bring us home tomorrow night. It's going to be a great weekend of basketball for an even better cause here at the SL24 Unlock the Light. So both teams getting some final coaching here before they head back out to the hardwood. And there you have it. Make sure you check out that virtual auction, bid on great items. If you can't make it out, head online. You can check that all out. How about that 7-night vacation in Antigua?
Can you take your youngins on that trip, Nick?
They might have to hang back.
you and Riley by yourselves on a little second honeymoon?
Yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. 1:08 and winding. They get it inside of the free throw line. Here's Madison Bishop.
St. Mark's has really ramped up their pressure. Extending, they may have to foul here at some point.
Coming up to get it is Morgan Bishop, and you are right, 54.5 seconds. Newark Charter very content with being patient offensively that time, and now a whistle and a foul, and we'll see how the final 55 seconds go here. And it might come down to the charity stripe.
Let's set the end game here. 2 timeouts for Newark Charter, 1 for St. Mark's, but St. Mark's has the error.
And that'll send, here is the freshman, Morgan Bishop, to the free throw line. Big free throw, that one just off the mark.
And as we all know, free throw shooting, especially in the last 2 minutes of the game, are very important.
Harrell, one of the team leaders. This team in Newark Charter, Coach, they've won 4 in a row coming into this one, trying to stay hot here at the SL24, able to split a pair from the line. That time was Morgan Bishop. Lead to 4 here, under a minute to play.
6-6 on the season, started off slowly, but Jeff Lang has done a great job of bringing his team around.
Van Jura gets it to Kiefer, couldn't finish. Second chance for Kiefer, no good again.
St.
And a big
Mark's needs
rebound.
to foul immediately.
It was Harrell with the strong box out and rebound off the Kiefer miss, and now we'll have a foul. We'll walk the floor with 41 seconds to go, and Newark Charter a chance to add on at the line of this 4-point lead.
Harrell, one of those 7 seniors that Coach Lang has in his program this season, has been an excellent rebounder throughout the game. Chased down a couple of her own misses, a couple of her teammates' misses in the first half. She's been instrumental, a very aggressive player.
So here's Harrell at the line. And the first free throw up and good, and a big one for Amani Harrell, who'll have another one on the way.
What a confident stroke there. Looks like she's been in these clutch situations many times.
Harrell, one of the 6 seniors but leads that group in terms of minutes played. Second free throw for Harrell, no good, but how about Mia Lang, the other leading scorer, able to haul in a second chance and a big one now, 37 seconds. St. Mark's going to have to foul as they're down by 5. Price now on the baseline walks into a foul there from Markey.
Price has played very well.
No, excuse me, a little turnover here.
It was a walk, and that was one where you're just playing a little too fast. Just possess the ball. St. Mark's has got to foul you in that situation.
And there goes Kiefer, catched it down the other side, fouled on the way up. And we've seen this a few times today, Coach, as we have a stoppage of 28.5 seconds here. St. Mark's has taken these deep outlet passes, almost Kevin Love-esque, if you will, and trying to really get some ladies running down the floor with some of these outlets.
Well, Kiefer's done a good job of running the court, as have some of her teammates. But Kiefer is really good at finishing through contact. That time, an aggressive foul. As a defender in those situations, you probably want the shot to go up, see if it goes in, because if you stop the clock, obviously a disadvantage for the defense who has the lead.
28.5 seconds, timeout on the floor. A 49-44 lead for Newark Charter. St. Mark's battled back, took a 1-point lead, I believe 41-40. And since then, it's been all Newark Charter regaining that lead and now holding on to a 2-possession game.
Well, they've been very good at the free throw line. They've been aggressive, getting first to the floor, getting a couple of big offensive rebounds. That time a mistake at the offensive end, trying to penetrate when a foul was going to come, and created the turnover, and then not getting back on defense with their pressure, allowing Kiefer to get an attack.
Patriots coach were 2-6 just a little while ago, and now having won 4 in a row. They're at 500 at 6-6, and now with a win over St. Mark's, can get above 500 and get to 7-6 on the year. It's been a nice stretch for Coach Lang and the Patriots, and now Coach Karch and the Spartans trying to put a damper on that win streak, but going to be tough uphill climb with 28.5 seconds to play.
One of the imperative things as a defensive team when a foul shot is going up, you've got to have an aggressive block out in case one is missed. You do not want to allow an offensive rebound in a foul shot situation. So Newark Charter will load, and we'll probably see a couple double pinches here.
So here's Kiefer at the line. Big free throws coming up and able to knock it down. And some big free throws for both teams here down the stretch. Kiefer, the only seniors you mentioned, Coach, moved from a guard to small forward last year. Big adjustment, but she's embracing the role and has really grown at that position.
She's done a great job. She's very clever with the ball, can shoot it inside and out, and the leading free throw shooter on the team.
So quick inbound here. St. Mark's down 3. They will have to foul, and they do, as they get a hand that time on Morgan Bishop, and she'll be the one to head to the free throw line.
You know, one of the rules that's changed that I don't like is the way you could foul, and I hate to use the word intentionally, but when you're trying to stop the clock. There's an art form to doing it, and a coaching point. Now they've kind of removed that because you can grab and hold and they don't call it.
That's right.
Whereas we've always taught, which would still be the way we teach it, I'm going to go for a steal and just get some flesh. What if I get the steal and the officials don't call it? Then it's going to be our ball. So I think this grabbing and holding, I've never liked that change of the rule. You've got to learn how to coach it up and have your players be smart.
That pass intercepted. A big steal that time for Madison Bishop. And St. Mark's able to get it right back, and with down 4 with 12 seconds, they will call a timeout, final timeout. I believe for St. Mark's, they had one remaining. So now a chance to talk things over. And check out now the steal as they're able to get it back. This one gives them a chance here.
Well, when you have the lead, you don't want to dribble the ball into a bad place. You want to take it out into open space, pick it up, maybe have your coach use a timeout, have players group around you where close enough where they can get a pass back. So you, as a team leading in that situation, you don't want to over penetrate and allow the team either to get the steal or get you in a bad position where they might create a turnover.
So now if you're the Spartans, got to score, then quickly foul, then we'll see what happens after that. But 13.2 on the clock. St. Mark's down 4 with the basketball after the steal, and we'll see what Coach Karch draws up here out of the timeout. But I have a good idea. It might head to number 30 in white.
It's probably the best option. Run her off a couple of screens. Now, one thing Newark Charter wants to do is don't foul here. Don't give up a 3. Make it 2 because St. Mark's will foul you. If you make a couple foul shots, you still have that 2-possession spread lead. So you don't want to give up a 3 and you don't want to foul. You want the clock to continue to run. Especially, I thought that St. Mark's was out of timeouts. The board still shows 1.
So they get it in. Here's Kiefer. Has to go quickly. 8 seconds. Driving kick. It's tipped around. That's going to cost him a few. Got to get a shot off. It leads to Foss now. She'll let it rip off the mark, and that'll do it. And Newark Charter uses a big first quarter to get out to a lead and then able to hold on late. Led by Mia Lang and Imani Harrell, but what a game from the freshmen, the twins Morgan and Madison Bishop, and they get the job done 50-46. And now the win streak, coach, it climbs to 5 games and the Patriots above 500.
A fun game, a really good chess match between two really good coaches. The youth of Newark Charter seemed to win out here, but Kiefer was terrific for St. Mark's, the only senior they had. A really well-played, hard-fought game. Two teams that I think will continue to play on deep into the season.
The Patriots get the Spartans in this one, but don't go anywhere because coming up here, 8 o'clock tip-off between the St. Mark's Spartans on the boys' side as they welcome in the Seahawks from DMA. It's our final game of the Friday night to kick off our SL24 Unlock the Light for the 8th annual. Let's now head to, of course, you can donate right there at the QR code on your screen. That's the easiest way to give to a great cause. So for Coach and myself, a quick break coming, then we'll be right back with tip-off just around the corner for St. Mark's and DMA. It's the 8th annual SL24.